The murder of Sacramento teenager Penny Parker was a mystery for 25 years until a determined detective made his move.
Our gut was telling us that something just didn't fit, and he very well could be the suspect.
Detective Pete Willover got his man. But how? It's a question one of our viewers sent in, and we went to work.
Here's CBS 13's Tony Lopez with the answer to whatever happened to the Penny Parker murder case.
This is the story of a little girl lost and the Sacramento police detective who found justice for her. 25 years after Penny Parker was murdered, her killer was located 2,000 miles from Sacramento in Hot Springs, Arkansas. It was one of the first high-profile murder cases solved in our area. And in the end, it was as compelling as it was tragic. This is one of the few pictures that exists of Penny Jean Parker, but the memories of what happened to this 15-year-old Sacramento girl are endless. Her childhood friend was Tammy Garrett.
She was always smiling. She was always happy. She was very friendly. She was always really nice.
This freckled-faced tomboy with a soft heart and a sweet smile was riding her bike one early evening in May of 1977, here near El Camino and Grove Avenues in North Sacramento. Penny had a paper route delivering the Sacramento Bee, and on this evening she rode through alleys where she played and down familiar streets collecting subscription money. She would never make it home. Tammy Garrett will never forget the moment she was watching the news.
I just remember the day they found her, that I remember the room. I can picture, I was sitting cross-legged on the floor. It's embedded in my brain.
Penny Parker's body was found 3 days after she disappeared, here near East Levee Road in Sacramento. She was discovered face down in what used to be a cow pasture. It's now Hanson Ranch Park. The 15-year-old had been raped, strangled, and stabbed. Video shot by Sacramento police the night they found Penny still sends chills.
Okay, this is the crime scene. The body is in a small gully that runs along here with a row of trees. So there's a body laying right through the branch in there.
The crime took Penny's life and stole the innocence of so many who knew her, including friends and classmates at Las Palmas Junior High.
I felt safe before that, you know, and I didn't after that.
38 years after the murder, Tammy Garrett still hurts for her friend.
Every time I do anything, even now, and something happens, and I think she never ever got to do any of this. She never got to live.
She'll also never be forgotten.
She hasn't been. You know, she mattered, and she still matters.
What mattered to Tammy was finding out how Penny's killer was brought to justice and who helped solve the murder. She sent me this email, knowing the case was closed, but wanting to find out how they found her killer. This man is a big part of her answer.
Well, it was back in 1977, and Penny was 15 years old.
Pete Willover was the lead detective in the Penny Parker murder case.
It was around 5 o'clock in the evening that she had gone out collecting for the newspaper and then never returned home.
He recites what happened in 1977 as if it happened yesterday. Out of thousands of cases, this is one burned in his memory bank.
And it's a case that you don't forget.
It was also a case Pete Willover thought he had solved. Days after Penny's murder, he immediately had his suspicions about the man who found her body.
Our gut was telling us that something just didn't fit, and he very well could be the suspect.
Don Jennings, a known sex offender, took a lie detector test and passed. With no witnesses and without the benefit of DNA technology at the time, Sacramento police didn't have enough to make an arrest.
We didn't have anything more to go on, and the case eventually went cold.
And stayed cold for 25 years, until Detective Willover went to work for the department's cold case squad.
Penny's homicide, because I had worked it originally, was one of the first cases that we started looking at.
They hit a bullseye.
We did get lucky in the fact that we found her underwear and also some of the slides that had been taken at autopsy, which contained semen.
From there, detectives got a DNA sample from a relative of Don Jennings, who always suspected he had something to do with Penny's murder.
And it was like a 99% match. And it gave us enough to go back, get a search warrant in Arkansas, and contact Jennings.
Arkansas is where Jennings had moved, to this home near Hot Springs. Detective Willover couldn't get there fast enough.
I interviewed him again, and he still denied knowing Penny, ever having sex with her, and stated that he just happened to come upon her body and found her.
The DNA swab taken from Jennings didn't lie.
And it was a 100% match to the semen found.
Investigators moved in to make the arrest.
And right after they knocked on the door, they heard a gunshot.
Don Jennings had put a shotgun barrel to his chest and pulled the trigger.
He decided that, I guess he just didn't want to go to jail.
Penny's family had closure, her brother Dennis.
And I think justice was served by him taking out his own life.
Justice was served, delivered by a determined detective who helped give Tammy Garrett the answer she was looking for.
He didn't even know her. And the fact that, she mattered that much to him, that he kept on it after all those years is, what a wonderful person.
That was one of the main goals of the cold case unit, was not only to solve these cases, but bring closure to the families of victims. That's why we do it.
And that's why Penny Jean Parker can rest in peace.
Now, had she lived, Penny Parker would have been 53 years old this year. Sadly, her parents did not live long enough to find out that her killer had been brought to justice.